Good evening and welcome to another edition of SCTV3. I'm Sam Reed.
And I'm Nate Brown. Here are tonight's top stories. Rays of Hope will be taking place this Sunday at Forest Park in Springfield. The walk, now in its 19th year, will be an opportunity to raise breast cancer awareness as well as a chance for members of the Springfield College community to give back. While a seemingly quiet place now, this Sunday, Forest Park will be transformed into the temporary home for Rays of Hope, as members of the community will walk and run towards finding the cure for breast cancer. One group of SC students who has been actively involved in raising awareness on campus is the residential staff of Abbey Appleton Hall.
So, Rays of Hope is it's a walk for breast cancer, and we've been doing it for a few years now, and it's really important to Abbey Appleton Hall, and a few of the other halls on campus are going to get into it. So we've been selling T-shirts for it, Fight Like a Girl, and on Sunday we're going to all carpool over to, I believe it's East Long Meadow High School, I believe.
From there, the group will bus back to Forest Park, where they will take place in the walk, or run depending on their preference, in the hopes to raise money and awareness for the event. The charity itself has been very successful in years past, as it has raised over $10 million since its inception in 1994.
We're really just, trying to promote the event, make our residents aware of the event, because, obviously, everyone's been touched by some form of cancer. One of the most prominent types is breast cancer. And so we're just getting the residents aware and involved and ready to go. That way we can get a big support out there in the walk, which will be great.
For more information, you can visit the Rays of Hope homepage by going to foundation.baystatehealth.org and visit the Rays of Hope link.
If you are studying at Springfield College, chances are you will not be hired as a pilot of an airplane. However, the iconic yet troubled American Airlines says it intends to hire 2,500 pilots over the next 5 years. In a letter to employees Wednesday, CEO Tom Horton said American Airlines will hire new pilots to staff new international and domestic routes. Their company spokesman Bruce Hicks said about 1,500 of the new hires would replace retiring pilots or jobs that open up due to attrition. American Airlines has about 75 active pilots today.
The men's basketball team has welcomed new assistant coach Jimmy Mack and has been working hard on a new offensive set that Jimmy brought in. Reporter Bree Hill was able to get more on the story from head coach Charlie Brock.
I was able to ask Coach Brock how he thought the addition of Jimmy Mack this year will benefit the team.
He's been a great addition, and that's not to take away that someone who left us last year was really, really good. Jimmy's got great experience from his high school 5 years at Sabas. He's got a couple of state championships under his belt and knows the game and knows the way he coached. I think it's hard for him in a way to having gone from being a head coach and making all the decisions to now making basically none, but he is advising, and I trust him, and it's been an excellent transition.
And what about the transition in offense, the 4 out and 1 in, as opposed to last year's?
It's a big change, and we felt strongly that our strengths were in it, and it's a little different than what we've been in the last couple of years, as our size is a little bit questionable, and our speed and quickness on the wings is excellent and deep. So we wanted to try to find a way to maximize that, and it seems like it's kind of complicated right now, but I think as time goes on and they're doing it more and more and more, they'll be more fluid, and it's sort of, it's an old golf term, but paralysis by analysis. They're trying to think of what to do and what's the right thing to do and not make a mistake, and they sort of get slugged down and slowed down by that, and I think as time goes on it'll gel its way out.
From SCTV3, this has been Bree Hill.
Just yesterday, Springfield College seemed to be similar to that of a coffee shop. Different authors, who are also professors here on Springfield College campus, gave an inside look at just what they are capable of as writers. Check it out. On Wednesday, October 24th, professors at Springfield College got together to put on a reading for students and other faculty members. The 7 professors read passages from their very own pieces as they gave Springfield College a taste of their work. After the reading ceremony, their books were available for sale and questions were answered about their individual work.
about it. Sit back and enjoy what's going to be read. Our first reader is Rick Carr. For the past dozen years, Rick has been writing short stories, essays, a travel memoir, and a novel, so he's been pretty busy.
Novel, Mulligan, it's a story about a dutiful middle-aged man named Vinny Amalfitano, who's a longtime city worker who finally has a chance to do something he's always wanted to do but has been afraid of doing. This scene takes place in 1969. It's the night before his Army induction. The characters are all roommates. Howie and Norm are first-year law students. The Darwin twins, Charlie and the Beagle, are deeply involved in the Black Student Alliance, and Hardon, his name is appropriate, is a city worker, and Sabino is Vinny's very smart, dope-smoking, gay younger brother. I tied every loose end I could think of, and that voice and that question still kept bouncing around in my brain. Do you really have to do this? Like I was leaving this dump of a city to go off on a 2-year vacation to an island where brown women with flowers ran naked, and the rivers ran sweet with honey, and the clouds rained down $100 bills, which, from what I had read in the newspapers, was not exactly how the travel writers described Vietnam. The day and night and morning before I left home for boot camp, we had a party, and I never in my life, before or since, have been more fucked up.
Letting was another thing that seemed like a good idea in its time. All that blood on its way out meant to render a shift in the body that could be read as improvement. Someone I love claims not to want what I've given, which has leaked out of me or come rushing out as a torrent, a gift. I was thinking as I watched, well, okay then, let it go. Here is the core of my body, all of it. Let's see where this takes us.
Time, Sam. How was it?
It was really good. It was really entertaining.
All right, that's good. That's always good. And
Absolutely.
Let's see here. What do we have for you guys? Well, there's a new woman in town, and looks like she's not everybody's favorite neighbor. Hurricane Sandy is causing quite a stir in the Caribbean, as it has already tore through Jamaica and it hit Cuba earlier this morning. Residents along the U.S. coastline have been forewarned as Sandy could pick up more strength over the weekend. And with that in mind, we're going to see what kind of weather we're going to have heading into next week. Here's SCTV3's very own Bree Hill with more.
Today was looking pretty cloudy with an observed high of only 62. Clearing up for the weekend, Friday and Saturday are predicted to be only partly cloudy with highs reaching 71 on Friday and 70 on Saturday. We can expect a cool and cloudy Sunday with the high lowering to only 57 but raising slightly to 60 degrees moving into a rainy and windy Monday. The rain and wind hold up through Tuesday with a high only 61. Better get your rain boots out, Nate.
Thank you very much, Bree. I'll make sure to get those rain boots ready. 6 men have been arrested this week in connection with the shooting of Malayla Yousafzai, a Pakistani schoolgirl and teenage activist. Yousafzai spoke out against the Taliban, saying that education should be made available for everyone, including girls. Yousafzai is expected to be reunited with her family sometime later tonight, as they are traveling from their homeland in Pakistan to Birmingham, England, where she's being treated.
Heading over to neighboring college UMass for 4 Pittsfield teens, each facing multiple rape charges after police say they joined together in a violent sexual attack on the University of Massachusetts Amherst campus. Prosecutors say it happened in a dorm room during the early morning hours of October 13th. Campus police also say their record shows that someone had signed 3 of the 4 men into the dorm as guests before the assault. They now plan to review the campus security procedures.
Regardless of the outcome of the upcoming election, it is becoming more and more apparent that something must be done about the low income for many Americans across the country. A report by CNN Money has stated that over 30 million Americans are living just above the poverty line, an increase of 10% over the last 5 years since the Great Recession began in 2007. The study defined the, quote, near poor as having incomes of up to 1.5 times the poverty threshold, and we're trying to support families of 4 or more on no more than $35,000 last year. Honey Boo Boo Child, a familiar name to those who love entertainment,
During a recent interview with Dr. Drew, Honey Boo Boo decided to fake a nap in order to avoid his questions. Dr. Drew asked Honey Boo Boo, "Are you all right? Let me ask you some questions." However, the smart Honey Boo Boo child wasn't having it. She proceeded to let out a long groan, shut her eyes, and put her head down. Eventually, the agitated 7-year-old shot back with a strong no after being asked if she was enjoying her newfound fame. She replied, "My fans come up to me and I hate it. Perhaps she is just too young for this lifestyle." And for more entertainment news, we're going to send it over to Cassie. Cassie?
Sam, this week's top entertainment news includes news about new album releases this month, Heat's list of the richest British celebrities, and a popular boy band making the news again after a year's break. Taylor Swift's album Red was released this past Monday, and already it's sold thousands of copies and is the #1 album on iTunes in 31 countries. It's expected to sell a total of 1 million copies in the debut week. If done so, Swift will become the first woman in the Nielsen SoundScan era to have 2 albums sell over 1 million copies in the first week. Leading up into the album's release, Swift released singles like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, Red, and I Knew You Were Trouble, which all landed on the top 10 of Billboard Hot 100. Congrats, Taylor, another successful album. Hip-hop rap artist Meek Mill is set to have his debut studio album, Dreams and Nightmares, released at the end of this month. The album was originally scheduled to be out in the summer, but was pushed back. Other artists will be featured on the album, such as Wale, Drake, Trey Songz, and many more. So far, 4 singles have been released off the album, and fans definitely were not disappointed. For those of you waiting to get your copy, the album will be in stores October 30th. Heat revealed their list of the richest Brits under the age of 30. Making the #1 spot by far is actor Daniel Radcliffe with a total of $53.33 million. Following second is another famous actor, Robert Pattinson, making $38.73 million. Other celebrities include the other famous Harry Potter stars Emma Watson and Rupert Grint, as well as One Direction, Adele, and Keira Knightley. They've been out of the news for about 2 years, but they're making headlines again. The popular boy band, the Jonas Brothers, have returned to their music career. After taking some time off, the band hit the stage at the Radio City Music Hall in New York City earlier this month in front of a sold-out audience. After their comeback concert, the band hit the road and is now touring for 4 months out of the country. In a recent interview, Kevin stated, "I think the Jonas Brothers are a band that has truly found their identity. They've admitted that as they've grown up, their fans have grown up as well, and because of that, they can write more music more maturely." That's all for entertainment news. Back to you guys.
Very much, Cassie. Earlier this week, 7-time Tour de France winner Lance Armstrong was stripped of his titles by the International Cycling Union for doping. Armstrong rose to stardom after first winning the Tour in 1999 with the added storyline of having overcome testicular cancer. Armstrong went on to win an unprecedented 7 tours in a row before taking a break in 2006. He made a comeback in 2009 before formally retiring from competitive cycling in February of 2011.
And to all the baseball players out there, it's time to step your game up and perhaps start at a younger age. The younger the better. Japanese high school pitcher Shohei Otani says that he will stick to his plan of joining a team in the Major League Baseball, despite being selected in the first round of the Japanese baseball's amateur draft. Otani, who has thrown a fastball of 99 and 100 miles per hour, has been scouted by several teams, including the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox.
That's pretty impressive indeed. A 5th grader looks to be the next in line to take over for Roger Goodell as the commissioner of the NFL. 11-year-old Dante Cano of Marlborough, New Jersey, wrote a letter to Goodell suggesting that the NFL referees use pink flags during the month of October instead of the traditional yellow flags. Goodell was so impressed by the youngster's idea that pink flags will indeed be used this Sunday during the Miami Dolphins and New York Jets matchup. The NFL has been doing their part the last 4 years to raise breast cancer awareness. During the month of October, players have been using pink towels, gloves, socks, and headbands. Referees have also been wearing pink trimmed apparel and pink ribbons on their uniforms to now go along with the pink flags. Pretty impressive.
Awesome. And now here's Mark Loisel with our sports.
After a troubling season for the Boston Red Sox, there was only one thing to do, which entailed firing a new manager. The new sheriff in town is John Farrell. Alex Thomas has more on this acquisition.
There'll be a new sheriff in town this coming April when the Boston Red Sox take the field at Fenway Park. John Farrell, the former Red Sox pitching coach, was named manager early this week after a trade was completed with the Toronto Blue Jays, an AL East rival, which also saw relief pitcher David Carpenter head to the Red Sox, while Red Sox infielder Mike Villas headed up to Toronto. After just 69 wins in a absolutely turmoilous season this past year at Fenway Park, the Red Sox fired Bobby Valentine after just 1 year. Valentine replaced Terry Francona, who won 2 World Series with the Red Sox, but was fired last offseason after the team had the biggest collapse in MLB history in September, failing to make the playoffs. It's been 3 straight years with no playoffs in Fenway, and the Red Sox hope to turn that around. But John Farrell's only one part of that. The Red Sox will still have to re-sign important pieces David Ortiz and Cody Ross, and they'll have to find a home for disgruntled pitcher John Lackey and soon-to-be free agent outfielder Jacoby Ellsbury. While this is only the first of many moves for the Red Sox, it's a positive step. It's an upgrade over Valentine, and I'm one that believes John Farrell is one of the better managers around, but he hasn't been given a chance yet, and that in Toronto, his losing record was mainly due to the roster he had with the Blue Jays. I'm not sure it's the best fit for Farrell. He was a Francona guy, and remember at the end of the Francona era, everything came undone at the seams, and the chicken and beer incident was made public. Personally, I do think Farrell's a great coach. I think he's going to help the Red Sox, and I do believe John Farrell will be the guy to end the playoff drought in Boston, and it could come as early as this season. Farrell's contract will run through the 2015 season, and he will get to pick his own coaching staff, a luxury Bobby Valentine didn't have last year. Personally, unlike last year, I give this move a thumbs up, and I do believe John Farrell was a positive hire for the Boston Red Sox and will help bring this team back to respectability.
Last week was full of tight games down the stretch. Let's check out what Barry Bois has in store for Week 8 of the NFL.
Hi, I'm Barry Bois, and here are my Week 8 picks. First off, I'm going to start with the New Orleans Saints versus the Denver Broncos game, and I think the Broncos are going to win this game because they have a better defense in secondary and than the Saints, and I think that's really going to be the deciding factor in this going into this game. My next game that I'm going to pick is the Giants and Cowboys, and I think that the Giants are going to win because, I don't think they're going to lose to the Cowboys twice, and for some reason they usually play better against the Cowboys at Dallas Cowboys Stadium than MetLife Stadium. So with that, I'm going with the Giants. Then my final game is the Atlanta Falcons versus the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'm going with the Falcons in this one because I think that they're pretty much a better team, and that Philadelphia has too much issues going on with Michael Vick having trouble taking care of the ball and their defense not playing as well as they should. So that's why I think the Falcons will pull this one out.
A few weeks ago, some of the best athletes that walked on Alden Street returned as they were inducted into the Springfield College Athletic Hall of Fame. As tables were crafted with an essence of elegance, there was a feeling that this night was going to be a memorable and emotional evening for the alums, granted with awards they've earned. Included in this presentation are Jamie Domingue, class of 2002, for the 2012 Young Alumnus Award, Theodore Patlovich, class of 1950, and Robert Hamill, class of 1964, for the 2012 Distinguished Alumnus Award, and J. Mitchell Finnegan, class of 1982, for the 2012 Tarbell Medallion. These award winners share a few words of how they have used pride throughout their life.
Coach Joel Deering, and Dr. Kathy Schweitzer. Thank you for preparing me, and thank you for continuing to teach me each and every day. This award means more to me than you can imagine. Congratulations to everyone else that's being recognized this evening, and thank you Springfield College for this special night, for all that you continue to give me and everyone who has attended Springfield College, and to the communities in which we all reside. I promise to keep sharing the SC tradition with pride. Thank you.
I had a truly great life. I'm thankful to all of those who supported me. And it's a privilege for me to receive this award and join 5 other members of the class of 1950, that's 62 years ago, before most of you were born. The other thought I would say is it's a real honor to be here and to be recognized for what little I did for Springfield College. And the last football game I saw, besides today, which is a great game, was in November of 1949. So thank you very much, Springfield College. It's a pleasure to be here, a real pleasure. And I know I'm a bit emotional, but I hope you understand. Thanks so much.
Actually, was not headed to college. We were a family with very limited means. My mother was an Irish maid. I wasn't going to college, but Springfield appeared, made a commitment to me. I'll be like you in a minute. But Springfield made a commitment to me that really changed my life.
This is really just an amazing honor. I've come to these dinners before, and I've always thought when folks get this award, man, they really got it right. That person really deserves it. And then Tammy told me it was me this year, and I said, I think there's been a terrible mistake. You know, the bond between classes, the bond we feel for the college, sometimes it's based on shared memories.
Class of 1942, William Attila, 1955, Robert Ford, and 1982, Paul Daly, are a couple of inductees that were rewarded for the Athletic Hall of Fame at Springfield College. The other 3 are class of 1982, Robert LaSorsa, 2003, Lindsey Moore, and 1993, Angel Schofield Ayers. I caught up with these 3 to talk about their experience here at Springfield College.
It's tremendous. What makes this unique as opposed to other Hall of Fames is that this Hall of Fame is run by the Alumni Association. The athletic department is obviously involved, but this Hall of Fame is run by the Alumni Association. It's not like that at other universities. Other universities, the Hall of Fames are strictly run by the athletic Hall of Fame. So the great thing about this organization and what they do at this university is that they recognize people not just for athletics. They recognize people for their contributions. They recognize coaches. They recognize teachers, and they recognize people beyond their just athletic careers at Springfield College.
My experience at Springfield College is probably one of the best so far in my life. I was very happy that I chose to come here. I don't think I would have been happier anyplace else. Not to mention the fact that diving for Springfield College brought me a lot of success. And I really don't believe that I would have had the same success.
Springfield College was the best. It was my home. I felt right at home the second I came in for a visit, and my teammates were beyond wonderful. I played a lot of soccer growing up, and very political and very just cutthroat, and I came here and loved the game again. So it was just a blast all 4 years playing.
Springfield College's president, Richard D. Flynn, adds humor to his speech to bring a friendly and fun atmosphere.
Tired of being the butt of jokes up here because of the Cardinals. And last night, leaving the home show, 3 or 4, it's a true story, 3 or 4 of my good friends, Boston fans, said with a certain amount of, not seriousness, but believe that, oh, we're so sorry, your Cardinals are behind 6-0, 3rd inning, and we offer you our sympathy. And they really were laughing doing that. Well, again, those people will probably not be invited back to any event either.
As dinner speaker Tammy Kittis-Lucy states her praises on the alumni achievements. Congrats to all the award winners and inductees.
Congratulations to our honorees.
Alum of Springfield College, Jeff Blatnick, passed away at age 55 due to complications from heart surgery. He was a Division II national champion and 3-time All-American wrestler here at Springfield College. Our condolences go out to his family and friends during this rough time. Well, that's all for sports, guys. Back to you.
And that's all for us here in the studio. Please join us next week, same time, same place, for SCTV3. I'm Sam Reed.
And I'm Nate Brown. Have a good night, everybody.